Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today in this video, I'll be walking you through the process of creating this real nice UFO in the forest render which I made. I created this scene almost entirely in Blender. I just did some color correction and post processing like these haze. It's on very few places. You can see this white haze. I did these things on Photoshop. So without any delay, let's dive into Blender. Let's delete this default cube and light. And for this project, we are going to use a default add-on. Let's go into the add-ons panel and let's search here ANT. Sorry, not ANT. Let's search landscape. Yes, we got this one, ANT landscape, and just activate this thing and close it. So let's press Shift A, go to mesh, and here we got a new option called landscape. Let's click here, and as soon as you created this landscape, you must have got this pop-up. Let's click here. And let's click here and change it to large terrain. Yes. Now let's select this thing and set it to let's set this thing to somewhere like 60. Let's take our scale tool now and let's make it like this. Yes. And let's go to edit mode and let's subdivide it. I think that should be enough. Let's check our polygon count. Yes, it's like 2 lakhs. It's okay. And now let's go to this camera setting and let's set the focal length to 36. Should work well in this case. And yes, we might adjust the camera angle later on. Now, first of all, let's focus on texturing this plane. Let's go to shader editor. Let's press new. And now let's click on our principal BSDF and with our node wrangler add-on turned on, make sure this node wrangler is just checked. With that plugin turned on, let's select our principal BSDF and press Ctrl Shift T and let's locate our texture file. So I'll be using this brown mud texture, which I downloaded from either Polyheaven or Ambient CG. I don't know, but yes, I will provide you the links in the description. So let's press A to select all of the textures and let's just press OK. And now let's go to our material view and yes, it is like this. And to fix it, press tab, select all, project from view, press cube projection. Yes. And now you should get some nice results. You should get some setup like this. So you have to go to this mapping node and change this thing to maybe 2, both of them to the same value. I think yes, 2 should work well. Now let's also set up our HDRI. So for that, let's switch to world node and with background node selected, press Ctrl T and it is going to set up 3 nodes for you. Let's click on open. Here I am using this HDRI. I will provide you the link of this, the download link of this HDRI in the description. This HDRI is going to be the main light source of our whole scene. And after that, we will add some more lights like some sun lamps. But for now, yes, this is going to be our main light. Right, so right now we are in EV render engine. So let's switch it to cycles and let's set the max samples to 50. And also let's change it to maybe 150. Should work. Now let's go to this mapping node of shader setup and let's set the rotation to 227 degrees. I mean, yes, obviously you can change it, but I found this angle to be the best for me. Let's select our this plane and let's go to material. Let's go to switch settings and you see this displacement option. Change it to displacement and bump. Now you can, as you can see, there are some difference, like it is like this now. So let's switch back to object mode. Now what I will do is, let's bring this here. Let's add a mix shader node and let's drag it here and let's search here for principal BSDF. Now let's take it right here. Let's select this principal BSDF node, press Ctrl Shift T, and now let's select our other texture. So this time I'm using Rocks Ground 8. I will put the link of this texture also in description. So select all, click this option, and let's put it right here. Yes, now we got something like this. And now let's add another mix color node this time. So let's put it here and let's connect this thing to this displacement. Nice. And also this displacement might not be working well in this case. So to fix that, let's go to edit mode. Sorry, not in edit mode. Let's select this plane and press Ctrl A, press all transformations, and then you should get some nice looking displacement. So let's tweak these values. Let's keep it here like this, and let's keep it like this. Now let's do another thing, and that is let's add in this second material, let's add a color ramp node in between roughness. Yes, these two. And now we can adjust our roughness. I think something like this should work well. Now let's get back to our solid mode. And now let's add some grass. So for this, I'll be using this GS Grass 02. You know, this vegetation pack, it is a free pack which I found. I think I found this pack on Gscatter or somewhere. Don't worry, I will just provide you the link. You can, so that you can also download this thing. Let's go back to shader editor. Well, although we do not need shader editor right now. So let's now let's select this plane. Let's go to particle system. Let's click this plus icon. Let's select here. Let's select advanced. Here under render, let's check this, select this render as to object. Now instance, in the instance objects, let's click this eyedropper and let's select this grass. And yes, now you can see there's grass all over the scene, but it is not in appropriate scale. So to fix that, let's adjust the hair length. Let's keep it somewhere around 6, I think so. Let's increase the scale like this much. Yes. Now let's increase the scale randomness. Let's decrease the scale a little. Let's go to rendered view for a better idea. Well, this looks okay, but there are only very few grasses. So to increase the numbers, let's go to this children drop down and set this thing to interpolated, and also set the display and render amount to 3. Now, as you can see here in this image, there are not much grasses in this area, as you can see, whereas in these areas there are a bunch of grasses. So to do the same in this scene, what we will do is, as you can see, our viewport is little laggy. Let's fix that first. Let's go to this viewport drop down and let's set the amount to 0%. Now as you can see, our viewport is smooth. Now let's continue. So let's go to edit mode and let's hold this select box and select the select circle tool. And now let's increase the radius. Now I will select these areas. Sorry, not those. And also let's check this X-ray mode. Let's select this area, and or maybe let's do another selection like right here. Yes, I think this much should work. And now let's press Ctrl I to invert the select. And now let's go to data. Let's click this add vertex group. Let's select this assign option and let's go back to object mode. Let's turn off X-ray mode and let's go back to particle system. Let's go to vertex group. Let's select the density to group 1. And now let's bring back the viewport display amount to 100. Now as you can see here in this area, we do not have any grasses. In rest of the areas, we have a lot of grasses. Now to improve the transition between these two areas, let's set this amount back to 0. Let's go to weight paint. Sorry, not texture paint. Let's go to weight paint. And yes, let's select this gradient and let's do something like this from here. Also from here. Nice. Let's go back to object mode and let's set the viewport amount back to 100. And now, as you can see, we got a little fade here. Now it's time to place this UFO into the scene. So let's place it here. And do not worry, this is model which I modeled. And also I will just put the link in the description of this model so you can use in your project also. Well, this is just a simple model. Didn't took much time to make. So yes, and yes, it is also textured nicely. So yeah, use it. Yes, looks nice. And also let's go to camera settings and go to viewport display, passes part out to 100%. Although modeling this UFO is very easy, but I'm not showing you in this video. I will show it in another video because video will get a lot lengthy if I show it in this video. So yeah. Now let's place this huge dead tree in the back of UFO. Well, this is just a photo scan which I found on Sketchfab. I will also put the link of this one. I mean, all the assets I used in this one, the link will be available in the description. Let's place it somewhere. Now it is time to improve the lighting. So I just opened another window here in which I have set the viewport shading to rendered so that I can move the stuff here and view it in real time. So now let's add a sun lamp. Let's place it somewhere here like this. And let's press Shift T and point towards this wall. Make the sun point towards here. Yes. Now let's also set its strength somewhere to like 5. And also let's check this use nodes option. And let's add a black body node. Let's set the temperature to 35,000. 3,500. Yes, it gives a nice yellowish look. Now let's experiment with the sun's rotation. Like this should be good. And also let's set this viewport amount to 100 so that we get some better idea. Experiment with the sun until it looks best. Okay, I think this much looks good for me. And now the most important thing here in this scene is to add volumetrics because it is going to make the scene cinematic. So let's add a cube, scale it like this. Let's go to edit mode and let's adjust its scale. Adjust this cube so that it covers the your whole scene. So I will keep it somewhat like this. Yes, this is good. Now let's go to this object properties. Let's go to viewport display as bounds. Now let's select the cube, go to object mode, select new, delete this principal VSDF, and instead of this, we are going to use a volume scatter node. Let's connect it to volume and let's set the density to 0 point. Let's try this value. Let's go to rendered view. Okay, it's not looking that good. Let's increase this anisotropy. And also there's, you can see this weird looking things. To fix that, let's go to our camera and let's set this end amount to 10,000. Yeah, now it looks good. And let's get back to the cube setting. I mean the cube shader, and let's set this thing to 0.002. Yes, this thing should work nice. And now let's bring this back to 100. Let's adjust the sun's value now. I mean sun's position. Keep experimenting with the sun's position until the results are good for you. Yes, this thing looks good for me. Let's go back to solid mode. Let's go to render. Let's set this amount to 150, and yes, all the settings are good. And yes, I will suggest one more thing, and that is to set this volume value to maybe 4. Yes, now let's render it once. I mean, this is obviously not the final render, but what I do is whenever I make a big change, like whenever I add an object or change the lighting, I like to view the render once, like how it's looking. In the viewport, it is noisy. That's why I just render it out to get an idea. Okay, so the render is done and I didn't like the results. Like there's a lot of noise. The rays are not good. Lighting is not good. So yeah, let's get back and fix it. So first of all, let's make this thing bigger. The UFO bigger. Let's place it like this and let's rotate this thing like this. Let's see the our rendered view. Looks good. Now let's make this thing little more bigger. Now I will be using these three pack which I found on Sketchfab for free, and let's use this thing in our project. So yeah, let's place it here. Yes, looks nice. Now let's see. Looks good to me. Let's rotate it a little. Now what I will do is let's go to this view option and let's check this thing. And now I will find a nice camera angle for this. Yes, let's keep it like this. This camera angle is nice. Now let's add another landscape and I will add dunes this time. Yes, here it is. Let's scale it. Scale it a little more, and yes, I will keep it right here. Now let's press tab, select all, cube projection. Now I will use the same material as this one. So this one is material 0.001, whatever it is. Let's select the same material here also. Yes. Now let's press Alt D and duplicate it. And yes, let's place it here. Yeah, looks good to me. I will just go to sculpt mode, get the grab tool by pressing G, scale it by pressing S, And let's adjust this thing a little. Yes, looks nice. Okay, so there are some weird displacements in this one. So let's select both of them and press Control A, all transformations. Yes, it fixes everything. Now let's increase these displacements a little so that we get a little nicer terrain. And let's increase it like this. Let's see what it looks with the grass. Looks good to me. And now I will just duplicate these trees by pressing Alt D, and I will rotate it a little. Let's place it somewhere here. Yes, this looks great. At last, I will use this rock from the same vegetation pack. Place it in front of the camera. Yes, I think it looks great. Now let's render this thing in 4K once. I mean, since it's just a single frame, it should render. So yes, it's done. The rendering is done. And yeah, I think we got some pretty nice results. So, and yes, I also added some depth of field. Let me show you how. Back to Blender. Yes. So it was very easy. I just selected the camera, go to the camera settings, check this depth of field, and in the focus object, I will just click this eyedropper. Sorry. Yes, this eyedropper and select this UFO. And also let's just set the f-stop to 0.7. Now let's do some compositing. So from layout, I'll move to compositing tab and check this use nodes option. And now let's press N and make another window. And let's go to image editor, and after rendering, click this and search for render result. Yes, now here we have the render result. So now here what we can do is, first of all, let's add a glare node. Switch this thing to fog glow, and yes, now let's add another node, and that's lens distortion node. I will just search for lens distortion. Yes, and if you like some noise, then just activate this jitter option, and yes, I think I will keep it. So now let's set this distort to somewhere like 0.50. Yes, or maybe 0.4. Looks good for me. Now let's increase this thing, and it's gonna create something like this effect, and I will keep it at 3.5. Yes, looks good to me. And yes, I think that's pretty much it. And also I know that this render looks a little bit different from this one because I didn't record it while making this one, and I just remade it, made it from starting. That is why the results were not that accurate. So yes, but that's all the process and all the things I did to make this one. So yes, on the basis of that, you can make this one or maybe something different, depending on how you approach and your creativity. So yes, that's all for today's video. Give it a like and also drop a feedback in the comment section. So, and if you didn't understand anything or whatever you want, if you want to ask anything. So yes, that's all for today. See you in the next one.